Hi everyone, my name is Leilani-Marie Gonzalez and this is my discussion 2 video for TSL 3080. So our discussion today is about bilingualism, and the first question that we are being asked is, what is emerging bilingualism, and also what are the benefits of being bilingual? I am actually bilingual, and so I'm able to firsthand experience the benefits of being bilingual. Especially, I live in Miami, which is a city where a lot of people who live here are bilingual. We speak English and Spanish, and this is because of the cultures that have immigrated into our community. And so it's a benefit because we are able to expand our opportunities because of being bilingual. Now, emerging bilingual, a student who is an emerging bilingual is someone who is currently learning English. This is a student who is learning English, but they are already proficient in another language, their native language, and most importantly, they are fully capable of doing any activities, of fully functioning in the language that they already currently speak. So I think that one of the things that happens often in the teaching community is that sometimes teachers undervalue the capabilities of a student because they are an emerging bilingual. They are learning the English language. But just because they are learning this second language doesn't mean that they're not capable of doing all of the activities and the same levels that all the other students are. And I think that this is the purpose of this type of assignment, but it's because we need to make sure that our students are feeling involved and included in our classrooms, and that they are emerging as bilinguals, that there is no issue in their capabilities or functioning in their own native language. Some of the benefits of being bilingual is communication. I think that it's very important to make sure that we're heightening our levels of communication, and you can communicate within different communities, and this also opens it up to opportunities in the workplace. Because I live in Miami, I think that a lot of employers expect you to speak English and Spanish. This is also something that happens in other cities, other major cities who have a big influx of people from a specific country or community. For example, Miami, a lot of people that come here are from the Cuban, and also the same applies in places like California, where there's a big influx of a Mexican community as well. So I think that learning a second language, for example Spanish, can open up your opportunities also internationally. You can have internships in other countries and job opportunities because you are bilingual, you are proficient in another language. Our second question that we were asked to answer is to discuss some of the issues that emerge from the different labels and names that have been assigned to students who are developing English proficiency in schools. I think that the name that we're using now, that we learned from the textbook, is called ELL, English Language Learners. I think that this is an appropriate name for students who are emerging bilinguals because it really focuses more on the fact that they are learning English rather than that they are limited at English. So one of our past names that they used for these students involved saying that they were limited in learning a language, limited English learners. And I think that this is a very condescending word and a name. And I think that it doesn't really highlight the fact that they're emerging as bilinguals. And it doesn't, compared to our current name, these students will eventually become fully capable and functioning in this second language. They will be just as capable as in their first language that they currently speak. And so I think that the current name it makes the students feel much more, they think more about themselves, and they realize that they are not limited in any way. If anything, they will be even more capable because they are learning that second language. It's very important to them. And it's very important for us as teachers to make sure that we are making sure that these students are aware that they will be proficient in two different languages rather than them be limited on one language. Some examples, as I have already mentioned, of how we can reinforce bilingualism in the classroom, the third question we're being asked, is, well, first, I think that representation in the classroom is extremely important. I think that for students to realize that we have different cultures in our class and that there are families who are different in our class is important for the togetherness of the classroom. I work in a kindergarten classroom, and we're reading a book about different families. And I think that this is an important concept for these students to learn, that there are different families from different communities that experience different cultures. Going back to our first question, another reason that being bilingual is very good is because you are open to different cultures. You understand different cultures and you're able to implement them and have already an understanding of why people are a certain way or why their families are different. Going back to this question, I think that if we create to incorporate bilingualism, it's to have activities where it's about the culture. Activities where we are all sharing our different cultures, different families, we're all explaining different aspects of our families, and just to make sure that students are aware that this is normal, this is awesome, that we have different cultures in our classroom and that our classroom is represented. I think that we can have activities in our classroom that encourage for students who are emerging bilinguals that can have vocal representation of the words. For example, in kindergarten we have phonics test, the sight word test, where students are saying the words, and so it's so that they can learn how to speak these words. And I think that starting at that kindergarten level, if these students are coming in as emerging bilinguals, it's important for them to be able to say the words, speak the words. And so I think that having also, like I said, that we're reading books, having books in my classroom that are talking about culture, I think that that can reinforce the diversity in our classroom. Thank you.